Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So today we are doing matrix. So matrix is a very simple topic, especially when it's a simple question. So a basic matrix question is extremely easy. So in this case, we have some restaurants selling pasta and lasagna. I think lasagna spelled wrong, I don't know why. So I have 550 and 10 something, and this is the table. And then usually the first answer of a matrix is this table, and in this case it is because you see I want what represent the pasta, so these two are pastas by this one in a 3 by 2, so it's 3 by 2. So this is very clear cut. P will be this table here straight away. Typically matrix question is always like that one. And then the next one will be using this 2, and sure enough in this standard question you can see that write down a 2 by 1 matrix C to represent the price of each plate. So this is 2, and so this will be the price, and they want 2 by 1, so it's 2 by 1. So this is the size they want. And after that, without fail, they'll ask you to multiply these 2. So again, you must look at the order. They say P times C, so don't be blind and do it the other way, because you can't do it because it's stuck. So P is this one, so it's this one times this one, so I write this down. And then to multiply the matrix, you must know how to, so it's P times C. So in order to do it, you must do this times this. So how to multiply a matrix, if you don't know how to do, there's a more detailed video in the channel, you can just search. But basically it's row times column. So it's first in the row times first in the column plus second in the row times second in the column, and then you plus together, you get this. So same thing, the next number comes from this one, this times this, so first times first, second times second. And the third number comes from this and this, so first time this one plus this one times this one, and so on. So multiplying is not difficult to learn, you just need to know how to do it, practice a few times, and you are done. Okay, so after that, usually what they do is they'll ask you to explain what these matrix mean. So in this case, if you look at how you get this and what times what is quite common sense in most cases. Let me adjust the screen, because you are taking this times this plus this times this. So if you look, what is 215? 215 is the number of spaghetti sold by this X restaurant times the price. So this is how much sales they get from pasta, and then you plus this times this. So basically this is the lasagna sales. So if you plus together, this is the total sales of X for selling these two things, and the next number will be for Y for Z. So this is actually quite simple. Total sales of spaghetti and lasagna for each restaurant respectively, because this number will represent the total sales for X, for Y, for Z. So that's how you phrase it. So the keyword is respectively and total sales. If you say profit, is wrong. Profit is how much you earn. Money, profit, money is the cost. You don't know the cost, you only know sales. So this is revenue or sales, but never profit. Profit is wrong in this context. Okay, so for the next question, so this will be another question, also fairly standard. So you can see that there are 4 brands of ice cream, 3 shops, and this is the number of ice cream they sell. Each is the day, don't know. So that's the total sales. And then I have 4 numbers here. This is the cost of the ice cream. And then they give you the matrix already for the 4 numbers here. So as expected, the first question is always going to be this answer. And true enough, 3 by 4, 3 by 4. So again, that's the first answer. So Q is equal to this. Then as expected, they're going to ask you to time. So it's this times this. So if you just write it down, it will be here. This times this equal to this. So again, you need to know how to times the matrix. Is like very common. You have to know it. Okay. Next, what they do is they ask you again what it represents. So this will be the sales of all 4 ice creams for each shop. So you can phrase it like that: sales of all 4 brands of ice cream for each shop respectively. So shop 1, shop 2, shop 3, and so on. Okay, so for the next part, write down a matrix as such that if you times together, it gives you the gram So just now was sales, now is grams, but because just now they gave you the price, now you need the weight, which clearly they gave you. So it's the same thing actually, you just need to times these four numbers. So that matrix will be this one, because so the one, the matrix S, never ask you to times out, they times next part. So over here, just one S, so S will be this one, which comes from the 4 weight of the ice cream, and then ask you to evaluate. So part 2, you go and times, so this is wrong. Yeah, so part 2 ask you to times, you get this. So this is the weight of the ice cream for each shop, and then eventually they ask you again using matrix multiplication. So you can't do this yourself without just normal math. You have to use matrix. So to find the total gram of all 3 shops, basically I want these 3 numbers to be added up together, but you can't do it yourself. So this is again not correct. So how do we do it? So since we are forced to use matrix, what you know is we definitely must involve this, correct? So this is a 3 by 1. So I'm writing 3 by 1 here. And since I need to multiply a matrix, I need to make either this times this or some things times this. Okay, and the answer, if you think about it, it should be one single number, which is the weight of all the ice cream of all the shops. So the final answer is going to be one single number here. This is the answer. So you know that it's going to be one number. So in matrix, this is 1 by 1. So I think about this. From here, if I multiply something here, the answer is made up of this number and this number, and it has to be 1 1. So this is already 3. So there's no way this can be the case. This is definitely not the case. So it has to be something in front. So in order to times something in front, the criteria is such that these 2 numbers must be the same, which obviously must be 3. And then since I want the number to be 1 1, these 2 numbers must be both 1. So it has to be 1. So the matrix I need is definitely 1 by 3. So it's 1 by 3. And it's always going to be full of 1s. So 1 by 3 times in front, you get what you want. So this process is actually quite complicated. The difficult questions always require you to do this. So hope you learned something. Thank you and bye-bye.